Hello, friends and lovers. Today, it's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be a big one today. We're gonna go over all of my anticipated releases for the month of April. So one, this year's going by way too fast. Two, there's so many good summer romances on here. I feel like I am living for all of this. Also, I'm going to be unemployed starting next week. So these better all hit. On April 2nd, we have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. She's, of course, one of my favorite romance authors. I really loved her last duet, and this one also sounds amazing. So this guy is cursed with every time he starts dating someone, after they break up, they find their soulmate. And he finds a woman who also has a very similar curse. And so they end up being okay, so if we date each other and break up, then we will meet the love of our lives next. So I'm assuming instead they fall in love. So beautiful. I can't wait for that one. It does say it's a bonkers idea, but it might work. And I think that's how I've been making life choices. So let's go. Also on April 2nd, we have the reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. Holly Jackson is the author of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, that trilogy, which I really liked, and I actually enjoyed her last thriller, which was Five Survive, also a YA thriller. And this is, again, a young adult thriller. So this looks like it follows a girl who is trying to uncover some secrets about her mother who is missing, doing this all while filming a documentary. So I think it's going to have kind of that multimedia feel that A Good Girl's Guide to Murder had. And so I'm looking forward to this. This sounds good. I don't want to know too much going into it, but I just have a fun time listening to her books. And I do think she young adult thrillers work for me because I feel like they don't get too scary. Not that I can't read adult ones, I can, but I'm never worried about picking up a young adult one. So, and again, on April 2nd, we have Here We Go Again by Alison Cochrane. This is the author of Kiss Her Once for Me, which I gave 5 stars. So I'm excited to read this one. This is, again, an FF romance where 2 ex-best friends have to go on a road trip together with their beloved high school English teacher. So sounds amazing. This is adult, so this does take place after they're in high school. I know, I feel like how I said it made it sound like they were still in high school and they were just with their teacher, which I think would be a little odd, but and then one of my most anticipated books of the year is coming out, and it is The Court of Wanderers by Rin Chupeco. This is, of course, the sequel to Silver Under Nightfall, which I have behind me. It's one of my favorite books right now. I think about it all the time. I cannot wait to see what kind of things happen to our characters in the next one. And I just know I'm not ready because I'm pretty sure this is a duology. So I think this is the end, and I'm not ready for the end. I love them too much. But this is a vampire kind of it almost reads slightly medieval, if that makes sense. And it is, of course, queer, and it's just a fantastic romance and fantasy. So I'm sure our next one is the one that everyone has on their list, and this comes out April 9th, is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. Leigh Bardugo. Oh my God. So from what I know about this one, this is a historical fantasy, and it's surprisingly a standalone. So we love that Leigh Bardugo, because she does take a while to wrap up series, which, as she should, take her time with the masterpieces. It will be nice just to read and finish one of her works and not be desperate for more. And it looks like this one is interestingly set in the Spanish Golden Age. So that, I don't know if I've ever read anything set then. So let's go. Also on April 9th, we have Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This is, of course, a cowboy romance. I cannot tell you how quickly I'm going to pick this up. I don't care if I'm in the middle of something. I'm going to put it down and read this. So it looks like it's another big city girl moving to the countryside to get herself a cowboy. Apparently, he's a billionaire. I don't know how that works. How do you, a billionaire cowboy? Okay. I don't know how that works. And then also on April 9th, April 9th is a big day. We have The Hemlock Queen by Hannah Witten. I also love this book. It's right behind me. This is The Foxglove King. And so this is the sequel to that. And this, I'm hoping, is going to be juicy, delicious. How The Foxglove King ended just really had me ravenous for more. So I'm hoping it is a decent, like, like it'll be giving to me. It does look like the way this is labeled, I'm thinking it's a series. I thought it was a duology because her last fantasy was a duology, but maybe it's more, which I'm not totally opposed to the idea. I am a big Hannah Witten fan, so anything she will give me, I will take. But this series is kind of more of a classical fantasy setup, like girl chosen one comes from poor background, becomes important, magical. She is the chosen one. We have heard that story a million times, but Hannah Witten, she writes it in a way that wins me over. So give it to me. This next one that also comes out on April 9th, what a big day. I've heard nothing about, but when I show you this cover, you will understand why it's on this list, why it caught my eye, why I was drawn to it. I will just let you make those connections in your brain. So this is a sweet sting of salt by Rose Sutherland, and this is a historical fantasy. It's queer in some way. And it says, once a young woman uncovered a dark secret about her neighbor and his mysterious new wife. She'll have to fight to keep herself and the woman she loves safe in this stunning, queer reimagining of the classic folktale, The Selkie Wife. I don't know what The Selkie Wife is, but I'm interested. I will be reading, for obvious reasons. And on April 16th, we have Late Bloomer by Maisie Eddings. Honestly, this I also picked up because of the cover. Like, it's just gorgeous. I love how like pink and pastel-y it is. It really just like drew my eyes in. I've never read a book by this author before. I don't know if this is her debut, but I do know I've seen a lot of people discussing this. So I do know I'm going to give it a try. And this just says it is a sapphic opposites attract romance. What else could I want? It looks like one of the women in this won the lottery and it's ruining her life. Can't relate. I think that would fix a lot of my problems. But I guess maybe I will find out why I would be wrong in Late Bloomer. I will report back. So it looks like she uses the remaining money that she hasn't like given out to people who were like kind of using her to buy a failing flower farm. That's the queerest thing I've heard. So it's very exciting. And of course, on April 23rd, we have Funny Story by Emily Henry. I'm sure every romance reader knows this is coming. Do I know anything about this? No. It is an Emily Henry. I am sure I will either cry or listen to it in my bed, just laying down, like pretending I have like the wherewithal to keep moving on with my life when I finish. This says it's a shimmering, joyful new novel about a pair of opposites with the wrong thing in common. So it sounds like this lady was engaged to someone and that person leaves her for his childhood best friend. And then she ends up somehow being connected to that childhood best friend's friend or ex. A childhood's best friend's ex. That Emily, you're hurting me. That was so much to get out. But sounds heartbreaking. I'm sure it will destroy me. Okay, hopefully you can't hear the gardeners outside. I literally have one more book to go, so they better stay quiet. So on April 30th, we have Truly, Madly, Deeply by Alexandria Bellafour. And this looks like it's going to be another queer romance by this author. I love this cover, but also doesn't that guy kind of look like that like babysitter guy from Stranger Things? Like that's the vibe I'm getting from it. So this is a romance novelist and a divorce lawyer. Okay. I'm gonna be reading anyway, so. I guess, oh my God, no, I love this. So it looks like they're co-hosting a podcast together. I love podcast books. So, oh my God, this just made me so much more excited. One of my favorite romance novels of all time is, I feel like it's called like The X Talk, and it's about a podcast also. And so this makes me very excited. I love a mixed media romance novel. Okay, so that was all of the books I'm very excited about that are coming out in the month of April. Let me know if there is another book or another few books that I missed that perhaps I will have FOMO for not knowing about them. So please, down below, let me know if I'm missing any so that I can avoid my FOMO. And thank you so much for watching.